Hi, in this video I'll show you how to combine tables in different worksheets into one. So let's say, for example, we've got this worksheet here and we've got similar ones here, 2, 3, and 4. This one's for California, and each of these worksheets have different state information, but they're on these generic sheet names, and we want to combine them all into one worksheet to look like this. And this is pretty easy to do, but there's going to be a catch. So stick around and we'll show you how. So here's a blank worksheet, and you may think combining those tables that you saw earlier is pretty easy. Maybe it's just a copy and paste and then putting those different state information in another column. But what if this was a big table? What if this was something you do on a recurring basis? And what if you got this from somebody else? You don't have that control of the inputs. You want to find some way to programmatically do this, and one way to do that is using Power Query. Let's see how we can do that. I'll go to Data and go to Get Data from File from Workbook and browse for that workbook. Here I find my workbook, go to Import, and it's going to bring up the navigation window, the navigator. You can see that these are the sheets that we saw earlier: California, Virginia, Maryland, and Florida. So those are the 4 worksheets within my workbook. So click Transform Data, and it's going to bring in and open up the Power Query window, editor window. And here, this is where we're going to do the majority of the transformation. This is the column that I need because this is the column that houses the data for each of the worksheets. Go here, right click, remove other columns. So here we need to create some kind of indexing, because if you look here, there is a pattern going on, right? In the first column, second row, is where we want to get our state information, those specific states. We have Virginia here and Maryland. They're all in the first column, second row. So what we need to do is kind of pinpoint that and bring it out. So what we're going to do is go to Add Column and add a custom column. So go to Custom Column, and here we're going to use some M code, and we want to use a table function, table dot index, add index column, open parentheses. The index column is based on that table there. It's asking for a table. Double click that. And what is the new column name? We'll just call that index. And after that, comma, we'll enter our third argument. We are going to start with the number 0, and then we're going to increment it by 1. Close parentheses. No errors here have been detected. Click OK. And now we have our custom column here. So if I click here in the empty cell here, you notice that there's going to be an index for each one. And it's identified that row, number 1 for California, and here, number 1 for Virginia, and number 1 for Maryland. So there's our identifier there. So we don't need this other data column anymore. Right click, remove, and expand this custom column. Click OK. And here we're going to add a conditional column. So every time it sees the number 1, it's going to bring back that value on the this column. Go to conditional column. We want to look at our column index here. Column index, if it equals the number 1, we want to bring back the value from custom column 1, the first column. And anything else? No. Click OK. And now we have our values. It brought back California here, and it brought back Virginia over here. So here I want to fill down that value for all the rows that apply to California, all the rows that apply for Virginia. So just go right click, fill, fill down. So these all apply. These are all California rows, right? After this, there's another pattern that we're going to notice. There's 4 rows that are going to precede the table that I need, and they're identified by the index numbers 0, 1, 2, and 3. You can see that, those 4 rows here. And those 4 rows here are also identified 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it applies for all the other tables. Therefore, all I need to do is just filter out 0, 1, 2, and 3. Click OK. And now I have my rows that are specific to California here, Virginia over here, and Maryland over there, and Florida at the bottom. I don't need this index column anymore. Right click, remove, and I want the headers here because these are the headers I need for the top here. I don't need these generic custom ones anymore. Go to transform and use first row as headers. And we've got that there. Also can change this one now to say state. Press enter. And I need to get rid of my other headers that came in with the other worksheets right here. So I'll just filter those out. Filter out full name here, click OK, and now click Home, close and load, and this will all be in one output, one table, and it's all done. So as I mentioned before, the input tabs on this were small. We can see these were small and there was only 4 tabs here, but what if there was 10 tabs? What if there was 20 tabs? You don't want to go through and do a copy and paste and then change that for all 10 or 20 of them. You want to find some way to do it easily in a couple clicks. And that's why the Power Query option is a good alternative to doing that. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.